I saw everybody in here early and I said, what the heck? Let's just go early right now. So, welcome. Happy New Year. I am Sean in Alaska. Give a quick shout out here to my cousin, Christine. Happy New Year to you down in Texas. Hey, Christine, in the month of January, just so you know, I'm going to send some cold weather down your way. Matter of fact, most of the country is probably going to get a polar vortex. Let me know how the audio and the video is. Hopefully, everything's coming through loud and clear. And I don't think I need these. Sitting far enough back from the screen where I can actually read it and see what's going on. But you guys let me know how the audio and video is, and I'll do the basic spiel that I start everything out. Obviously, the audio is good. Christine, no. So here's how I like to do this. I'm Sean in Alaska, broadcasting live from the cabin. And I like to say hello to everybody that shows up for these lives because I greatly appreciate all the support that I've had from you guys over these last couple of years. This last year in particular, it's been a great motivator for me. If I happen to miss your question, or if I happen to miss saying hello to you, say hello to me again. Do it in all caps. If I have already answered your question, I've already touched bases with you and said hello, I'll just skip over it. It's not a big deal. I just want to make sure I don't miss any comments or questions that are pertinent to what's going on here. So let's get back to the very beginning because I got a lot of hellos to say here. Start off with Twisted Gamer. Jackson, Happy New Year to you, man. Glad you could make it. Emma Morton, Happy New Year to you as well. So I look down at my clock here right now. We are like 1 minute away from Smiley in Ireland having a new year. So Smiley, Happy New Year to you, my friend. Scotty's Backyard Barbecue, Happy New Year to you. Rambling with the Brahms, Happy New Year. Raquel Hernandez, Happy New Year to you as well. Thomas Fry, Happy New Year, my friend. Glad you could make it today. You had to water your lawn today, 14 months to go. Ah, man, that's crazy. Yeah, the weather in the lower 48 has been a little different this year. Did you guys see those videos of all the waves in California with that king tide they had? Holy smokes. I kept watching a feed, Christine, I don't know if you saw it, from Pacifica, because that's where we grew up, right? You know, you lived in what was it, Valleymore, the back of Pacifica, and I lived in, or Terra Linda, or Terra Nova. I forget what it was, but you lived in the back part of Pacifica, and I lived up by the beach growing up as kids. Brutal waves. Mike McKinley, glad you can make it, my friend. Yeah, I was kind of surprised Jay and Jen weren't live tonight either. Russell from Raspberry Rock will be going live directly after this live is over. So I'm cutting this off at 4 o'clock because I like to hang out with Russell on his lives. I think him and City Girl will both be live on there tonight, which will be an awesome time. If you're not a fan of, or you do not subscribe to or follow Raspberry Rock Off Grid, you need to, because Russell's an awesome guy. And his lives are the lives that all other lives are measured by, in my opinion. Joe Montano, welcome, my friend. Happy New Year to you as well. Ray Martinez, Happy New Year's, man. Glad you can make it. Scott at Hester's Garage, welcome, brother. Happy New Year to you. Ed Case, Happy New Year to you as well. I'm going to say Happy New Year a lot, guys, because, you know, you're saying it to me, I'm saying it back. Jonathan Davis, Happy New Year to you. Charles and Annalyn, Happy New Year to you guys. I imagine it is already 2024 in the Philippines. Scrappy Cat, Happy New Year's to you as well. Kevin Wright, Happy New Year's, my friend from Mount Pleasant, Michigan. Esteban Playa, Happy New Year to you from North Texas. Very cool. Lindsay Salmon, Happy New Year to you as well. Ali G, Happy New Year to you from London, Ontario. Awesome. Rokan Matana, welcome. Happy New Year's to you. Joanna Bowers, Happy New Year to you as well. Ginger, Happy New Year to you. And Smiley, yeah, I think we're there now, right? You're in 2024. You are in the future, my friend. Tell us all. How does the future look right now? Joe, thank you very much. I'm glad somebody brought that up in the beginning. When you hit the thumbs up, especially when I'm live, if you hit the thumbs up on one of my videos, YouTube says, hey, a lot of people are liking this. So they suggest that video out to other people. But it's most important during a live because anybody who happens to be on YouTube right now who may not be familiar with the channel, YouTube says, hey, this guy's live. Check him out. You might be interested. So yeah, the thumbs up greatly help. Ward, Happy New Year, brother. Wendy Benjamin, Happy New Year to you. Robert Atkermajin, Happy New Year, my friend. Glad you can make it today. Doug Adams, Happy New Year to you. No get-togethers on New Year's Eve for me. I'm working tomorrow, so I'll be in bed tonight by about 7:30. I do have a couple of beers and my bottle of Tullamore Dew. So yeah, I'll definitely be having a libation before bed. Brook Trout 1, Happy New Year, my friend. Watching by my gazebo, a comfortable 61 in Venice, Florida. That's crazy. Are you, Lindsay, are you cold out there today? Tell me what your temperature is. Matter of fact, guys, do me a favor. Let me know what the temperature is where you're at right now and what weather's going on, right? So cold and snowing, or warm and raining, or cold and raining, just let me know. I'd be curious to find out. We had yesterday 20, I think it was about 20 below zero here, maybe 21 below zero, when I was driving into town to pick up some materials for the latest project. And today, right now, it is 17 degrees above zero. So it is absolutely phenomenal. I have the heater on low, and I had the other heater running for the project that I'm working on over there. But the inside temperature on the cabin upstairs right now is 73 degrees Fahrenheit. And right here on the lower level in the cabin, it's 69. So it's super awesome. Thank you very much, Joe. Greatly appreciate that. Everybody's saying audio and video is fine. Trail Cam Pete, Happy New Year, my friend. Glad you could make it today. John Feeney, Happy New Year, my friend. Glad you can make it today. Perfect. I love when the audio and the video works. That it makes my life so much easier. But I should check and make sure that I did, in fact, turn that off, because that's what my problem was before. Hang on one second here. I think I did. I did. Good. Power saving mode is off. Pretty sure that was the culprit when I couldn't get on that one day. Mimsy's Garden, Happy New Year to you. Glad to see you. Awesome. Stay for as long as you can. I do not expect people to hang out and spend their entire New Year with me. By all means, we're only going to be here for an hour, but just popping in and saying hi, I greatly appreciate that. North Texas for Esteban, and you don't want the cold weather. The craziest, coldest I think I've ever been was I was working for Randall's and Tom Thumb out of Houston, and my territory was the whole chain. So it was Houston, Austin, Dallas, all the way down to Galveston. We were in Dallas, and I still had my bag, my travel bag that I had in Alaska, because I moved from Fairbanks to Texas, and there was an ice storm. I mean, where off the side of the signs, the ice was just sticking straight out. It was slicker than snot. Everybody's slipping everywhere. I'm watching the guys I'm working with. They're all in their suits and ties, and they're all kind of slipping and staggering, can't walk across the parking lot. And I go, this isn't going to work. I walk back to the car, open my bag, and grab my cleats. They're all, where did you get those? But yeah, Texas can get cold. Texas can get very cold. Henry Leslie, Vermont, good to see you, my friend. Awesome to have you today. Happy New Year to you. Richard Capel, Happy New Year to you as well. Have a happy and safe one. Enigmatic Gwitchin, welcome. Happy New Year's to you. Everybody's saying hi to everybody else. I love that. Steve Grounds, Happy New Year, my friend. Glad you can make it. Robert Steele, Happy New Year. May the new year be better than the last. Always, right? That's all we can. Down here at the bottom, Happy New Year to all. We are above zero once again, which is a beautiful thing, and we will be for the next week and a half anyway. And may your next year be your best year. Or Deep South Alabama, good to see you, brother. Happy New Year to you. Kristen, there's the other half. Happy New Year to you. Glad you can make it today. Eves, Happy New Year, my friend. Glad to see you. Emma's saying Happy 2024 from the UK. You guys have reached into the future. I love it. Love it. Built on the Rock Homestead. Happy New Year to you. What's up, Sean? Happy New Year to you and everyone. Thank you very much, Esteban. I've been busy. I got a lot done. And you'll see it over the next two videos. I didn't have a video this week because my work schedule just got to be a mess around Christmas, and I work days I don't normally work, so I got out of sync, and I could have thrown something together, but I didn't really want to just throw something together for you. I wanted to give you guys something that was going to be decent. So the first video of the year will be progress on the cabin, which is super awesome. And I took the opportunity to get a bit ahead by what I've been doing here. And I think you guys are going to be pleasantly surprised. I'm pretty happy. With, I keep looking over to the kitchen. I'm pretty happy with how things are going. Oh, you did see it. I just saw that today. They've got some huge, for January, they've got some huge polar vortex they showed. Man, the entire United States, except for Florida, is absolutely frigid. Crazy. Sunshine. Happy New Year to you. Glad you could make it. Troy Sutton, Happy New Year to you as well. You turned 53 years old in 5 hours. Well, happy birthday, my friend. Happy birthday and Happy New Year. There's the other half of Sunshine. Warren, Happy New Year to you, my friend. Glad you can make it today. Mike McKinley, Happy New Year, my friend. Good to see you. I think I said hello already when we were talking about Jay and Jen, but I'll always say hi twice. Karen, Happy New Year to you, my friend. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful year. As I look out the window here and see the chickens all running around out in the yard, they love the warmer temperature. I went to Sonoma State, and the waves there were crazy too. Yeah, they were. The whole west coast of the United States was just getting hammered. But the pictures I saw from, I think it was Ventura Beach, Santa Cruz, Santa Cruz was ridiculous. And Pacifica, I was like, wow, that is nuts. CK, welcome. Happy New Year to you. I hope it's a happy 2024 for you as well. Lindsay's telling me it's 15 below zero up there in the beautiful interior of Alaska. That's cold, man. That's chilly. Very chilly. Jill, Merry Christmas to, or Merry Christmas. Happy New Year to you. Still got kind of Christmas on my mind. Smiley, the future is just wonderful, Sean. Ah, good lad. Good. You were supposed to get snow today, but not in your area. Okay, cool. It's coming, man. I'm telling you, you guys are just going to have a late winter. And I think when you get it, it's going to hammer the United States, the lower 48. When winter comes, everybody's going to be all, whoa, enough. Henry Leslie, Vermont, it's 25 degrees there. Happy New Year to you as well. Michigan Daffodil, Happy New Year from No Snow, Michigan. I think it's coming. I think you're going to see it soon. Mark Davidson, Happy New Year to you, my friend. Joanna Bowers, Houston, Texas, 61 and clear. Houston was a beautiful city. I loved the time I lived in Texas. I really enjoyed the time I lived in Texas. Yeah, minus 15 with the wind chill or without the wind, and it feels like minus 30 with the wind. Yeah, so that's, I've said it before, how cold the temperature gets in the interior and not even counting a wind chill. But we've had a good breeze down here too. So this morning when I got up, it was, I don't know, it's like 7 below zero. And that temperature just ramped its way up. But it said on the field it felt like negative 23. So yeah, with that wind, it just tears everybody up. 61 degrees in Arizona. Joe's saying low 30s and freezing drizzle. You know, Esteban, I agree with you completely. The people that come to my live chats, I am super, super lucky, are awesome, awesome folks. It feels more like family than it feels like anything else. And I can't be thankful enough for that. Mike McKinley with 3 degrees Celsius or minus 3. Angie, Happy New Year from Beamer. Happy New Year to you as well. Angie was the one that gave me the incredibly hand engraved beer steins last week, the pint glasses. Gorgeous stuff. Built on the Rock is in Texas and it's 68 degrees at 6 p.m., 25 degrees. It feels like 10 degrees for Jill. Bud Armstrong, welcome, my friend. Happy New Year to you. Brutal 47 degrees there. Brutal. 47's nice. Neo North, welcome. Happy New Year's. Not sure how long. I'm glad you stopped by. Again, I cannot reiterate enough that, if you guys have stuff to do and you got people to go hang out with, go do it. Today's Sunday and I go live on Sundays. I'm not going to be live tomorrow because, like I said, I'm going to be working. So I thought I'd just hang out with you and get the Happy New Year's out of the way there. 5 degrees Celsius in Ireland, cloudy but dry. Well, that's saying something right there if it's dry in Ireland. 11C in your part of the UK and it's wet and cold. Sneedville, Tennessee. Jonathan's checking in with 46 degrees. Arch checking in with 50 and clear, very still, but sitting by the fire. Oh, right on, man. That's got to be nice. If it was 45 degrees outside right now, I would be outside sitting by the fire. I definitely would be. M&M, I think is what that is. And if it is, that's super cool. Virginia Beach, Virginia is 43 degrees and drizzly. Jerry Canadian, welcome, my friend. Happy New Year to you. Glad you could make it today. Blue skies today for you. Very cool. Ginger has 32, but it feels like 25. Caleb, I'm going to say Merry Christmas 4 or 5 more times before I get it right. Happy New Year to you. 33 degrees in Pennsylvania. No snow yet. Nanny Goat Acres has 61, 45 miles northeast of Dallas. Smiley again. Happy New Year, my friend. Have yourself a fantastic day. He mentions resolutions. I've never been a New Year's resolution kind of guy because resolutions, as far as I'm concerned, are just setting you up for failure. Next year, I'm going to do this. And you say the same thing every year, and you never do any of it, or it lasts a couple of weeks. But what's one thing that you really, really want to see yourself do in 2024? And that could be anything. I mean, you want to see yourself succeed at your job. You want to see yourself spend more time with your family. You want to fish more. You want to give me one thing that you really want to do in 2024. I won't hold you accountable for it. Only you can do that, but I don't do resolutions. We'll talk a little bit more later on about what some of my plans are for 2024, but what's one thing you want to do? Trail Camp Pete, we have 0 snow here in Barrie, Ontario. That's crazy, man. That is crazy. Doug Adams, 4C in Beaverton, Ontario. Susan, Happy New Year to you as well. 85 and sunny in the Philippines. 66 at your kid's place in Central Texas right now. Nice, nice. Hope you all and Sean had a great Christmas. Our son and fiance went home to Michigan from South Carolina for a week. Oh, that is awesome. That is super awesome that you could spend that time with them. The next project, I'm working in the kitchen right now. I have to work on a project in the kitchen before I could work on the next project in the kitchen. So I was going to work on the stone for basically my whole kitchen's in my living room right now. I don't know if I could, see if I can do this here. I'll show you. Oh, let's pick it up this way. Right, so basically, right, there's my kitchen table, my cook table, my spice rack over there. I mean, the stove. I mean, everything that was in the kitchen is in the living room at this point because it had to come out of there to start the first project that will allow me to start the next project. I was planning on laying the block for the wood stove this last week, but when the temperatures dropped that cold, I just said, you know what, I'm not going to mess with mortar when it's that cold. Mind you, I'm still running around the inside of the cabin in socks because the floor is so much warmer, but it's still cold. And I just thought to give it the best chance, or give me the best chance of succeeding on that project, I would put that off and start the next project. So it's in the kitchen. Be charming. Happy New Year to you. Made it to Palmer from Florida. Hit 14 today. Yeah, those negatives are tough. Winds are picking up, blowing all the snow around. Yeah, you guys get a lot of wind of them. Or Palmer gets a lot of wind. Palmer gets crazy wind. Suzanne's Sweet Kitchen, Happy New Year to you as well. I hope you have an amazing New Year as well. CB, welcome, my friend. Happy New Year to you. I'm looking forward to 2024 as well. I look forward to next week. So next year is just 52 more weeks to look forward to, right? I love it. You finally got about an inch of snow? Nice. In northern Minnesota. Oh, that's crazy. I used to have a friend who fought in World War II. His twin was born on December 31st, and he was born on January 1st. Yeah, that's my brothers are identical twins, but they're like 17 minutes apart, I think. But yeah, they just did it differently back then. Everybody's saying hi. Chandler, Arizona's got 60 degrees. Right. Yeah, I think Michigan, I think the lower 48 is going to get hammered probably about mid-January through, I don't know, mid-March. Hopefully it's not too brutal. But what I'm really interested in is what kind of a summer I'm going to have this year, because for the last couple of summers, all we've had is a ton of rain. And I'm hoping this changing weather pattern that we've got this year is going to mean that this spring we'll have some dry weather and I can get some extra stuff done outside. Mary Cracker, Happy New Year to you. Central Wisconsin, 30 degrees, cloudy, light snow on and off all day. Tall Slacker, Happy New Year to you. Is everywhere besides Anchorage conservative? Yes and no. I mean, I don't really get into politics that much on the channel at all. I'll do it on the lives. I'll answer some questions on the live. I just won't get too political because there's way too many things in life that are more important as far as I'm concerned. And it really brings me down when I get too deep into it. Homer's a pretty liberal area. Juneau is a very liberal area. And Anchorage is about half and half. So I think I think the best description I saw of this recently, in general, overall, is there are no blue states. All right, there's red states with big cities in them, and big cities, when you're living that close together, tend to be a lot more liberal. And I think that's because they're so close together. Where conservatives are so, generally speaking, in the rural areas are a lot further apart. So they don't have the safety nets, generally speaking, that you have in the cities, if that makes any sense. But yeah, I mean, it's 6 of one, half dozen of the other. It could be political if you want it to be political, or it could be just another place to be. And that's how I look at it. What's happening now? Happy New Year there, my friend. Glad to see you today. Kyle 505, Happy New Year to you. It's 40 degrees at Fahrenheit in New Mexico. Nice. Gary Alwyn, Happy New Year to you. Thank you very much, man. I greatly appreciate that. I greatly appreciate that. I haven't done anything else above over here. I haven't closed in that top piece over there. I'm kind of going to do all of that at once. I'm going to probably pick a week where I close up and finish off a lot of projects I haven't finished yet. Like probably in the first couple of weeks of the year, because I need to get better organized to be able to do what I want to do this year. Prince William Mendez? That's what I'm going to guess. I don't speak Spanish, but I can pick out a couple of those words. But I don't speak Spanish, man. But Happy New Year anyway. Fat Man Prepper, Happy New Year, brother. Glad to see you. Oh, no, you didn't miss me. I just went live about 20 minutes ago. Scrolling. Everybody's saying hi. Sure resolve not to have any resolutions, right? Very good. That's a resolution I think I can get behind, my friend. That is a resolution I can get behind too. I never fail. Can we, bud? Can we all get together and just talk about bacon? I had bacon for breakfast. Well, no. I had bacon for breakfast yesterday, and I had bacon for breakfast a couple of days during the week. And then this morning it was sausage muffins. If I can't have bacon, I'm going to have sausage. I love both, but sausage is, man, I got a passion for sausage. Robert wants to go fishing in 2024. Come on down in July, my friend, and we'll catch some salmon right here in the Kenai River. See, that's what I'm talking about right there, Sunshine. I like to set goals for the new year, but not resolutions. I set, over the last couple of years, I've set a lot of goals for myself. And I can proudly say that I have not ever accomplished all the goals I've ever set for myself. But I'm a firm believer that you always give yourself a little more than you can do so that you have something to start your list with the next year. Ekati, Happy New Year's to you. Glad you can make it today. It sounds like a war zone there. We obviously do not have, and it'll be like that later on tonight. We obviously do not have much in the way of fireworks in the middle of summer and 4th of July because it's just too bright. So a lot of folks buy their fireworks and we fire them all off on New Year's Eve. So I imagine later on tonight, it's going to be brutal. I'm going to hear cannons going off all night long. Even though I live where I live away from town, the locals out in this area and across the river from me in Sterling, they like to celebrate. They like to have fun with it. I've kept every New Year's resolution I've ever made not to hit a deer. I have never hit one. Don't say that. What are you thinking? You want to accumulate, man, 1,000 ounces of 0.999 silver? Crazy. That's a good thing. That's a goal. That's a great goal. Lord Veda, what a night. Happy New Year to you, my friend. My New Year's resolution is to be a grouchy old man and avoid people as much as possible. Nailed it. Right? Even Fat Man. So the same as the last 10 years? Yes, sir. I have a goose laying eggs right now. Unfortunately, none appear to be golden eggs. I need a few golden eggs to raise money for a new truck. Your old truck got totaled. Ouch. I hate to hear that, man. I hate to hear that. Glad the temps have warmed up here, but the hoarfrost was so gorgeous yesterday. Our birdhouses and oh yeah. So if you guys are not familiar with the term hoarfrost, right? Here, see if I can do that. Make it that term right there. So when we have ice fog up here, and then that fog clears, it is the most incredibly beautiful thing you will ever see. And basically, what happens is, as we have that fog, the branches are frozen solid, and the moisture sticks to them, and it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger, like hair coming off of everything. It is phenomenally gorgeous. I think I've got some good pictures of that this week, and they'll be in next week's video, but just awesome, awesome beauty. There's no snow here, but don't tell anyone. Shh. -2 degrees there, huh? Nice. That's not bad. -2 is not bad. Yeah, warmest weather here in 35 years. this has probably been the most mild winter that I've seen since I've been back up here since 2013. Sure, we've had a couple of days where, a couple of multiple days in a row where we've been below zero and pretty brutally cold below zero, but nothing like the first couple of winters that I was here. Nothing at all like that. Junior, Happy New Year, my friend. Glad to see you today. Popping in to wish you a happy 2024. Happy 2024 to you as well. Used to be a lot hotter when you were young. Same for me. I hear all these people talk about record-setting temperatures, but I can remember as a kid growing up, and I grew up, like I said, in California, and I was born in San Francisco, but grew up in Marin and Sonoma County. But my early high school years were in the town of Novato in Marin County. And I can remember 123, 127 degrees Fahrenheit all the time, 115. We'd have stretches for weeks on end where it was triple digits. We never batted an eye. We just called it summer. So yeah, it's kind of strange how, it seems like every generation says, I've never seen heat like this before. And the previous generations, oh, well, yeah. Or I've never seen cold like this before. The older folks like me, and the new generations all, well, yeah. Lucy, Happy New Year to you. The weather so far in Alaska this year has been pretty mild. That's kind of what we're talking about now. Today, it's about 17 degrees Fahrenheit. So that's up. I'm 37 degrees warmer than I was yesterday. Overcast, chance of snow. We're supposed to have some snow on and off throughout the week, but we could get warm and have mixed rain and snow. They're saying in the forecast, but I don't really see that happening. But it's beautiful. I love winter. Winter's a beautiful time of year. Happy New Year as well. Andy Francis, Happy New Year to you. How many people do breakfast for dinner? Because I love breakfast for dinner. Oh, Robert, by all means, man. By all means. If you guys want to come down, just give me a shout. I mean, I'm usually working in July, but just give me a shout because you want to catch salmon. This is the river to catch salmon on. This is the river to catch salmon on. Craig Porter, Happy New Year, my friend. New Year, buddy, from Homer, right? Lots of hippie lettuce shops in Homer, if that's any indication of the politics down here. But I'm like you, right? Here's what I like about Homer, right? Because you go into Homer and you just look at the shops, right? And all right, these people are on a different plane than me, but they're so cool. I mean, it's all artsy fartsy, and there's some neat stuff in Homer, and the views are spectacular. Probably some of the most beautiful views in the state, I think, are in Homer. 2024, we'll be king fishing at our camp downriver from our village. Nice, very nice. Lindsay, I might have to come down to the Kenai this July and try to get some fishing in next year if I have my gear ready to go down in cabin built. Definitely, man. Definitely. I'm going to do more fishing this year. I'm going to do a lot more off property this year than I've done in the last. And it's been, I'm coming up on 1 year living in the cabin. I moved in March of last year, and I went nowhere this summer at all. And I really didn't go anywhere the summer before. So it's been a couple of years since I've had a chance to get out and play in Alaska. And I didn't move to Alaska to just be on my home, my property, year round. I moved here because I love Alaska and I want to see more of it. So this year there'll be a lot of that for me. I'm going to make time. I've said this in the past in previous videos. I am a firm believer that no matter where you live, you should vacation where you live. You should get out and see the area that you live in because there's a reason you live there. Could be a great job, but mostly it's because of the weather and the area, and there's things about it that you love. And I think that people take it for granted, the area that they live in. I know I did. And that you'll have an incredible time just exploring your own area. So for me, that would be getting down to Homer, doing some kayak tours on the other side of the inlet, or on the other side of Kachemak Bay, on that lower part of the Kenai Peninsula. I want to head up to the interior. There's some folks I want to go visit with up there. I'd love to go to the Arctic Circle, maybe dip my feet into the Arctic Ocean wearing a kilt. That'd be kind of fun. But there's so much I want to explore here. KT wants to know, am I a professional chef or baker? Not a chef. I was a cook. So which means basically to me, and I joke about the difference between a chef and a cook all the time. I always say a chef makes it look pretty, a cook gives you a plate that'll make you full. To me, a chef is professionally trained in a cuisine or cuisines, and a cook is a general purpose, can do breakfast, lunch, and dinner kind of stuff. And I grew up in a restaurant with my family, and I grew up in a bakery. I am a professional baker, but as far as cook or a chef, I'm just a cook. Countryside Acres video today. The fireworks in the Republic of Georgia was crazy. That's nuts. I got to catch up with those guys, man, because I have not caught up with them since they left and went overseas. And Aaron and Anissa are awesome people, and they send me messages all the time, and we message each other back and forth all the time. But I've been so busy. There's like maybe 2 or 3 channels at the most right now that I've managed to keep up with it all, and it's a bummer because I have a lot of channels I like to watch, but I've just been way too busy. You just found the channel. Awesome. Well, I'm glad you like to laugh, because you'll hear it a lot. I laugh at myself all the time. I don't think that there's a video I've ever made where I have not laughed at myself, because you got to, right? You got to laugh at yourself. Lizzie, I try not to judge the frost, no matter what it does, to earn money, right? Yeah. KT, are you required to pay taxes on your property where I live? Yes, I pay property taxes, but it's very reasonable. I think my property tax bill this year was like $238 or something like that. But in my borough, and we have boroughs here instead of counties, once I turn 65, the first $250,000 of value, I think it is, of my property is tax-free. So at that point, I won't have to pay property taxes at all. But yes, I do. Tina Bailey, Happy New Year to you, my friend. Awesome to see you. Very, very good. 65 clock, Sean Alaska, dropping in to wish you a happy Chat New Year. All the best in 2024. You as well, man. Happy New Year to you as well. Sheila, we live we have that in Alberta every once in a while, 8 degrees Celsius, hardly any snow. Yep, right? Happy New Year to you, by the way. Not so remote Alaska. Happy New Year, my friend. Glad to see you today. Right? I do breakfast for dinner. Yum, yum, yum. Seashell. Happy New Year to you. 55 and cloudy in the Inland Empire, SoCal. 25 years ago, I saw 72 below around this time. Haven't hit minus 50 yet this winter. Hopefully this new weather cycle works itself out. Yeah, so the coldest temperature I ever saw was 1999 in Fairbanks. And on New Year's Eve in 1999, it was 63 below zero. That was the ambient air temperature, no wind chill. And the high we had for like 3 weeks was 45 below. But that 63 was brutal. That is dangerous. I mean, that is, if you don't take precautions, that'll kill you. Donna Douglas, Happy New Year to you. Grew up in Sonoma, California. Very cool. Very cool. One of the channels I watch, we talk about it all the time on my lives, is Simple Living Alaska. And they were, in their video that I watched today, and I watched it just before I went live, they had gotten a wheel of cheese from Santa Rosa that they had shipped to them. And the minute I saw them cut into it, so when I was a kid growing up in Novato, there is a road that goes out the back of Novato and then comes in the back of Petaluma. And I forget the name of that road. We used to just call it Cheese Factory Road, because the Sonoma Cheese Factory is pretty much at the Y of where these two roads meet. And that's where Sonoma Jack cheese comes from. And it's the most incredible Monterey Jack cheese. Sonoma Jack is the best as far as I'm concerned. But when I saw that wheel of cheese, I left a comment on the video, and it kind of explained that whole thing. But that road, that bicycle ride was 20 miles. And my brothers and I and all of our friends, we'd make that ride every single Saturday. And we'd ride all the way to Petaluma. And then we'd jump on a bus, and they'd take our bikes and throw them underneath the Golden Gate Transit bus and take the bus for like 50 cents back to Novato. Right. Always nice winter when the days get longer. We're on that side now. We've passed the summer solstice or the winter solstice, so the days are getting longer. Not noticeably yet. It'll ramp up probably in January. We'll start to see a big difference every single day. But right now we're just picking up, I think, seconds or minutes at this point. Nice country link sausage and scrambled eggs right now. Very yummy. Only time I eat breakfast is for dinner. Nice. Warm winters up here makes for dangerous winter travel and hunting. Yes, it does. It makes it, yeah, because it's not normal. It's not normal. Breakfast for dinner is better than breakfast for breakfast. I'm not going to argue with you. Destiny Fitzgerald, Happy New Year to you. Glad you can make it. Oh, it didn't go off. What the heck? Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I get notified on my phone every time this channel goes live. So I'm like, wow, Sean's live. Oh, wait, I got to be on the internet. I love getting out and about, but I just don't want to do it with a lot of people here as they annoy me. Well, there's so many places you can go here and there in the interior that you won't see hardly anyone. That's how I am too. I don't want to be in crowds. There's a couple of functions I go to every year that are rather crowded. And I go there specifically because they're crowded. That's all I need of that. Ashley Anderson, Happy New Year to you. Glad you can make it today. Michigan Daffodil, Sean, what is your favorite donut to make and eat and favorite bread to make and eat? My favorite bread, I'll start with that, is sourdough. I love sourdough. Inside out, born and raised San Francisco, California, the greatest sourdough on the planet. I am a huge sourdough fan. My favorite donut to make? I mean, all donuts are the exact same. The raised donuts. So when you're talking about like glazed donuts, chocolate bars, maple bars, those are Bismarck's. Jelly filled, custard filled. They're all the same. So they're pretty basic. I'd say my favorite actual different donut to make would be a cinnamon roll or a Pershing, because there's just burying it with, rolling it out to the right size, egg washing the whole inside down, burying that thing with cinnamon, rolling it up, slamming the edge of that thing down on a good maple bench, cutting it just perfectly and watching that thing go from basically this big to this big when it's done. Oh, yum. And when they're warm, oh, they're good. Oh, they're good. Or 359 days till Santa's on his way. Everybody's saying Happy New Year. Happy New Year, Tink. Good to see you. Glad you can make it today. Fairbanks used to be cold for weeks on end, and then the moisture in the air from the power plant would take that 63. Yes. And the crazy thing is, so in Fairbanks is in a bowl. So for people who are not familiar with the interior of Alaska, Fairbanks could be 63 degrees below zero. And then you drive up on the hills that surround Fairbanks and you get above that inversion layer, and the temperature might be zero. I mean, a huge, ridiculously huge temperature gradient. And O'Brien, Happy New Year to you. We've seen it here in Ireland. Wishing everyone a good health and happiness for 2024. All the best from Wexford. That is awesome. Happy New Year to you. Grace Lomas, Happy New Year to you as well. When I was a kid, we had to walk to school in waist-deep snow. P.S. Grew up in Monterey. Monterey, and he's not talking about California. Monterey, Mexico. Waist-deep snow. I cannot wait for my solar to start working again. Yeah, I fired up the generator today, but that was like the first time I think I fired it up since, it might have been Thursday or Friday. I think Friday I fired it up for about an hour or two, and today I fired it up for about 3 hours, just because I wanted to top off the charge on everything. Amanda Smith, how are you today? Heard the word bacon 3 times. I'm eating French toast and bacon for dinner. Nice. Happy New Year to you as well. So this year, one of the goals for me for this next year is to get some solar panels installed, to get the inverter hooked up, and not have to rely on the generator itself nearly as much as I've had to this year. But surprisingly, the way I set things up in the cabin, I haven't had to use it that much. And then, with the folks at OPES sending me that portable power station to review and do a video on, that thing has been awesome. That has made it so nice to do everyday basic stuff here without having to fire up a generator. It's super, super nice. That's crazy. I live in Texas. My solar oven still works. Friday, I had shepherd's pie. Yesterday, I baked a crustless pumpkin pie. That is nuts. That is cool. But Armstrong, day after Christmas, I did leftover dinner for breakfast, finished the sausage stuffing, but I also did breakfast for dinner as well. Nice. I love donuts. They're a rare treat for us. Yeah, it's hard to find it. We don't have any good ones down here anymore. Since the Moose is loose closed, we don't have any good donuts. Beto, Happy New Year, my friend. Glad you can make it today. Love making city buns. The train crew loves them. I have to make a batch before I go to town later this week. Very cool. Frank Short, Happy New Year, my friend. Good to see you. How do you make the difference between regular glazed donuts and old fashioned? I've wanted to try that. So, glazed donut is a raised donut. It's a yeast raised donut. So that's where all the donuts I was talking about before, including apple fritters, they're leavened with yeast. Cake donuts, old-fashioned donuts, cake donut holes, buttermilk bars, those are baking soda, baking powder leavened. So they're a completely different donut. They're a much more dense donut. And old-fashioned, I've never seen I started in a bakery when I was 10 and I'm 62. So in 52 years, I have never seen a scratch recipe for an old-fashioned donut. The only time I've ever seen them is in a mix. And you can buy it. There's an outfit out of the valley. Oh, shoot. Their name escapes me right now. But swing by the store when you get a chance, and I'll try and remember the name of it, and I'll get it to you, that you could probably order a bag of mix from because they do have a mix there. So the only donut that's probably different than all of those is the French crullers, and those are actually egg. And when we used to make them from scratch, they're like an eclair. So it's egg and ammonia mixed with water, which causes an ammonia gas, which causes them to go whoo, and really blow up. So cream puffs, eclairs, and French crullers are all that same basic heavy, rich egg batter. Deborah Thacker, Happy New Year to you. Glad you can make it today. Stonewall, Happy New Year to you. Glad you can make it as well. From Germany, very cool. So you're already in 2024. You're already there, man. We're catching up. We'll be there soon. I have, about 4.5 hours? 4 hours and 20 minutes until I'm there. No, that's not right. 8 hours and 20 minutes. I was getting good at baking, then I realized I had to go gluten-free, but working on stuff with a naturopath and maybe able to do more than oh, nice. Very cool. One of the things that I found that on reading up on this, so I'm not, obviously, I don't have any issues with gluten or anything else because you've seen what I eat. I eat everything. But one of the things that I saw was eating naturally leavened breads, not store-bought breads, but breads you bake at home using a starter, somehow changes the entire protein structure of that bread. So that even if, now I'm not saying this if you've got celiacs or something serious, I'm just saying this if you have an adverse reaction to too much gluten in your diet, obviously. But if you obviously have an issue with celiacs or something that is very gluten specific, take this with a grain of salt and talk to your doctor before you say anything. But from what I've understood, that natural leavening process, using a starter for bread and baking the bread from a starter is something that most people can, in fact, consume and process properly in their body. That form of bread is actually better for you than any form you can buy. Where'd I go? Okay, I already got that. Going over the daughters for cheese and fireworks. Nice. Trying to catch up here and make sure I'm a little bit behind. Have you taken the Christmas tree down yet? Yes, today, as a matter of fact. And I had to because with everything in my living room, I had no room left over there. So I pulled the tree down today. I got to put back in the box. I got it all wrapped up and it's sitting in the trailer. I even pulled it out of the house completely and put it in the trailer. So took it down today. I was going to leave it up till tomorrow, but I got to work tomorrow and I don't want to. So normally on Sundays I do laundry. So I drive into town and go take care of that. And today, since I only worked a couple of days last week, I was off like an extra 3 days or off an extra 2 days last week. So I took 3 days off, 4 days off. I didn't use all my work clothes, so I thought I'll just do laundry when I get off of work tomorrow on Monday, New Year's Day. Now I'm thinking that might not have been a good idea. Hopefully the laundromat's open on New Year's Day. But if not, I've got enough clothes to get me through till Tuesday. But I didn't want to have to deal with all that stuff and then come home and put the tree and everything away. So it got done today. I want an old fashioned, but made out of whiskey, right? My buddy brother Will, gifted me. We constantly give each other bottles of booze because he's a Scotch drinker and I'm a whiskey drinker, and so like a birthday or a holiday or something will come up, and I'll be like, okay, I'm gonna hook brother Will up. Well, he got me a bottle of Jameson's orange whiskey, and I want to make an old fashioned out of it because I took a taste of it, and the orange is so intense. I thought this would be an incredible old fashioned. Open up a donut shop, right? I have all the equipment right now except for mixers at this point. Well, mixers in a proof box, but I have the donut fryers, I have the screens, I have everything else because I bought the equipment of the donut shop that closed here. So that thought has been in my mind, but I don't have time and I don't want to work nights. And to do it properly, you need to work nights. By natural leavening, I'm talking about baking powder, baking soda. And I forget what they call that. That's a different kind. But the other leavening that I'm talking is like yeast raised donuts are all the fluffy donuts, and then the denser donuts are all the cakes, the old fashions, that kind of stuff. Those are all the baking soda, baking powder raised donuts. Now, if you're talking about the bread that I was talking about, a natural leavening is a starter that you like a sourdough bread starter, but it doesn't have to be sour. But it's the same basic idea. Using regular bread flour or regular all purpose flour and an organic rye flour. The organic rye has natural yeast all over it. So when you combine those two with water and place them in a warm place inside your house, that yeast starts to feed on the sugars and starts to break down the sugars that are in the flours. And the gluten that is developed in that dough is a different type of gluten than what you will get when you just buy bread from the store. So if that's what you're talking about, that's what I mean by natural leavening. Rebel Canners, Happy New Year to you. Glad you can make it today. Oh, man, right? Just put milk bread in the oven. There is nothing better to me in a house than the smell of probably dinner rolls or a dinner roll based bread, like a milk bread or a braided bread. When it comes out of the oven and you smell that yeast just rolling off the top of it, you just want to grab butter and a handful of that bread. Speaking of donuts, I need to learn how to make pizza dough. I want to make pizza in a cast iron skillet. Bud, look up Alton Brown, and he's got a pizza dough recipe that is awesome. I have it written down, but I don't have it accessible right now. But that's the one that I use, and it's a very well developed dough. So much so that you can actually toss it in the air. It's you get a nice thin bottom, and you'll get a nice edge crust all around it. But Alton Brown, the Food Network guy, he's got a great recipe for that. He's got great recipes for a lot of stuff. He's got a great scratch pancake recipe that is better than any pancake mix you have ever used or any pancake recipe you have ever used. I guarantee it. I would make that for my kids, and so he gives you a dry mix to make yourself, and then you have to add melted butter, egg, and buttermilk. Buttermilk was a liquid. And where a good pancake will be like, real fluffy like that, these things were like air, and they're like 3/4 of an inch thick when they're done. Great recipes from that guy. Lindsay Scotch's yuck. It's an acquired taste, man. It's very much an acquired taste. Sunshine, I discovered it was the synthetic vitamins they put in enriched flour. We went 3 years with no flour products, and you started grinding organic grains and making your own sourdough, and things work, right? Yeah. And they do that because they don't have the time to wait. It's very so in a commercial bakery, you can make a loaf of bread in an hour and a half, right? From mixing the dough to raising the dough to baking the dough on the counter for sale, 90 minutes. You really can. If you're making it from a natural starter, an air starter, you're looking at 24 hours. Now, there's a huge difference in the quality. It'll blow your mind how good it is, but it won't last as long either. The mass-produced breads, they have so many life extenders in them and so many different things in them to make them last on the shelf that they can stay soft and pliable in a plastic bag for weeks without molding. But your natural breads they're gonna get rock hard in no time at all. Doesn't really matter though, because I'll just eat twice as much of it. There we go. Thank you for that, Fat Man. Chemical leavening is what I'm talking about. Chemical leavening. Amanda Smith, yes, Sean, starter and ancient grains makes a healthy bread. Bad bromated flour, right? Yep. Ryan, Happy New Year, my friend. How are you doing today? Awesome to see you. There's yeast leavening, chemical leavening, which uses baking powder, baking soda. Thank you. And I wasn't making the connection of the name, but I greatly appreciate that. Chris Bartlett, Happy New Year, my friend. Good to see you. From Australia, we're into the new year by 12 hours now. Happy Monday to you. Happy Monday in 2024, my friend. Michigan Daffodil, I have, so there's one video that you can look at on my channel right now, and it's Irish soda bread, and that's with chemical leavening, right? Well, chemical leavening and buttermilk. So buttermilk itself will also cause something to rise because of the acids that are in the buttermilk. So you can check that one out for an incredible soda bread for St. Patrick's Day. Phenomenal. The recipe came from Ireland. It's hand mixed, super easy to do. And I even go over the difference in flours that, the flours you want to use compared to the flours you can buy in the store commercially, and how to get the blend just right for your bread. And then I did a couple of videos on homemade sourdough. But I plan on, once I get the new stove in here, I plan on getting back into making my own breads again. So that's down the road. I don't know when that's going to happen, but there are some videos on the channel. It might be in the playlist Homesteading for Beginners. It might be in that playlist because I did a lot of different stuff like that in that playlist. Let it cool before you cut into it. Yeah, good luck with that. Maybe a loaf of bread, but rolls or like a braided bread that you're just going to pull apart. No, I'm just going to rip it up while it's hot, pour butter all over it, let it just melt, run down the sides of my face. Fat Man, Irish soda bread, right? Oh, yeah. And that's a good recipe, man. That is a great recipe for Irish soda bread. Love Alton Brown. He explains the science and chemical reaction. I think Alton Brown is probably one of my favorite of all time cooking people. He's just a ton. He's entertaining, and his stuff works out great. I do. So I showed you guys my Christmas presents last year, right? And Brother Will gave me the hair cutter kit. So Sean gave himself a haircut. Man, I can really see that scar there too. Holy smokes. Yeah, so I gave myself a haircut. I got both ears lowered and all 5 hairs cut. My son uses pineapple juice in making pizza dough. It sounds crazy. It's awesome. He attended Sullivan, Louisiana. Oh, very cool. That's interesting. That's an interesting way to do it. There's so many tricks you can do with food. It's crazy. My first job was an apprentice baker. Turned out it was a dishwasher job. Did get around some awesome baked goods, right? Love an apple fritter. Everybody loves apple fritters. In 1969, my father opened a donut shop on the Point Pleasant Beach, New Jersey boardwalk next to miniature golf. That is very cool. I've got some fond memories of growing up at a bakery. So I was 10, which was 1972 when I finally was making donuts for my dad. Because the rule was once you could reach the back of the fryer with the tips of the donut sticks, you could fry donuts. Because before then, your arms are too short. You can't really do it. And the tanks are, relatively deep. If we were doing jobs that today OSHA would be like, they can't do that. We were doing that all when I was a kid. But yeah, Dad had a bakery, full line bakery, and donut shop. But we made most of the money was made on donuts, man, and we sold a ton of them. Jeffrey Brewer, Happy New Year to you as well, my friend, and best wishes for 2024 in New Zealand. Awesome to have you here today. I want to make a sandwich bread, an artisan bread that is healthier for me, and that's the way you want to go. Then you want to go with a natural starter. And starters are, so the recipe that I was using for my sourdough, I have a book. I don't have it in here, I don't think right now. It's the Bread Bible. Um, and you could go to a library, or you could download a copy of it for a Kindle, I'm sure. And you could get it to see if it's something you want to get into. But the actual starter that I used for the breads that I was making that were turning out really well. My problem was the trailer was way too cold, so I could get almost no natural proof whatsoever on them. But that starter was from King Arthur Flours. I just went online and used the King Arthur Flour starter recipe. And I bought a 1 pound bag of organic rye, and used all-purpose flour, or used bread flour and organic rye. And there's certain measurements, so I bought a scale. But yeah, there's a ton of great starters out there, recipes for starters, and there's a lot of folks that'll sell you their starter too. We always get back to food, right, Chris? Making me hungry. I love bread freshly cooked, right? Well, I am. There is nothing that grows wild right up here, and I'm not really bald. I'm just taller than my hair at this point. But yeah, I've been this way since I was about 25. So I used to shave it with a razor, but it's a pain in the neck. It was easier than when I was married for obvious reasons, right? But and even with my kids, I would sit down on the deck outside and let the kids take the razor to the back of my. But when you're trying to keep it shaved with a razor, it's almost impossible to get everything on the back, and then it looks silly. I'm Italian. Pineapple and pizza don't mix. Using any type of pineapple and pizza. You know what? I love pineapple and pizza. Pineapple and pepperoni, yum. The sweetness and the acidity of the pineapple cut the fat. Oh, it was invented in Canada, right? You can't say bad things about Canadians. Canadians were the first ones, I think, to do that. We had a 1950s DCA donut robot spider machine. That is cool. Happy New Year. Happy New Year, James. Oh, I love. There are a lot more people that are a lot more talented than I am with a lot of different stuff. But I will tell you that I am really fearless in the kitchen, and uh, when I really set my mind to want to learn how to do something, I will master that because I love to do it. And the only thing I enjoy even more than that is to share it with other people. To me, that's phenomenal. We have about 5 minutes left, folks, because I want to get out of here in time to hang out with Russell over at Raspberry Rock for his New Year's Live. But yeah, if there's any questions you have on baking, by all means, message me, let me know via the Facebook page or whatever. And if I have an answer, I'll get it to you. If not, I can point you in a direction of different places to go to get those answers. One of the things I love about TikTok more than anything is the number of people that I follow that are food related. So they're making candy, making bread, making, doing all this baking and stuff, and the cooking, the fancy meals and everything else. I am mesmerized by that talent. And I just want to cook them all and eat them all. See, I'm telling you right now, get a scale and do things in metric. Do not do things in ounces and pounds. And that's coming from a guy who my entire life, everything was done in pounds, ounces, quarts. No, go to grams, and you will be able to reproduce your success every single time. Huge fan of that. Right, Lindsay? I grew out of my hairline too. You know what? God only made a few perfect heads. He put hair on the rest of them, Lindsay. Right? There we go, right there. My starter, Lucy, loves organic rye. And it's because organic rye has so much natural wild yeast on it that, it just makes a huge difference on the bread. Ray Hindi, Newfie, what's happening, my friend? Happy New Year to you. Just jumped on to say Happy New Year, getting ready to go to a house party. Very cool, my friend. Have yourself a great 2024. Yep. Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does. Dennis Rudder, Happy New Year's to you. We're getting ready to jump out of here, folks. How much time I got left? I got a couple of minutes left. Bob Jenkins, Happy New Year to you. With that said, we should probably just about call it a day. We're at the very end. Not So Remote Alaska is wishing everybody a happy new year for 2024. Be 100 times better than 2023. Excuse me. Welcome, brother. Happy New Year to you. All right. For those of you interested, head on over to Raspberry Rock Off Grid. If you're not subscribed, by all means, go check them out. Just like it sounds, Raspberry Rock Off Grid. And Russell and Alicia will be live with their annual New Year's Eve show, which will start like right now. So I am out of here, folks. Thank you very much for your constant support. Here is to an awesome 2024. If it's any better than 2023 and 2022 were, it's going to be an incredible year. I hope yours is fantastic as well. I am Sean in Alaska. Thank you guys very much for joining me on this journey and for hanging out with me for a bit here today. Talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.